Today we are examining tools and methods for debugging formulas. This may be the least fun class that we have. So why am I putting you through this? Errors happen, even to the very best of us. As you noted in the chapter, your author says 20 to 40% of the spreadsheets out there have errors. CIO magazine a few years back said as high as 80% of those spreadsheets that are being used out in business have errors in them. These are spreadsheets that people are using to make million-dollar decisions on, and yet they have errors in them that may affect those decisions being made. So what type of errors are we talking about? When we talk about debugging, it's the process of fixing things as used in computer programs. As worksheets grow in size and complexity, ensuring the accuracy becomes more and more difficult. Some of the easy errors include syntax errors. These are easy because it may be mismatched parentheses or functions without arguments. And so it's easy to find because Excel yells at you and you have to put them in before they'll allow you to enter them. Probably the hardest errors to find are the logic errors. Incorrect reference, or maybe the thought process of putting something together doesn't work. Many other errors, though, are available, too, for us to make. Circular references are normally an error. Now, later on in the course, we'll spend one session where we use circular references to solve problems, so they can be good, but normally they're an error. Array formulas. People often don't understand these, and they'll go in, edit the formula, and just hit enter. If they do that, it doesn't calculate the way the original array formula works. You have to hit Control-Shift-Enter. And we'll talk more about that in one of our sessions coming up. Also, we have incomplete calculation errors. Microsoft has acknowledged this problem, and we run into it several times. If you want to recalculate a spreadsheet, you hit the Control, Alt, and F9 key, and it should recalculate the whole sheet each time that you do that. So in this example, let me select the sheet and hit Control-Shift-F9. You can see the numbers look like they're recalculating among all the cells. Also, we run into what we call phantom link errors, links that can't be updated because they're no longer useful. We have one in this sheet as well. If we go to the Data tab and then down to Connections, Edit Links, you see that we have a reference to a worksheet that's no longer available. This is a phantom link. We don't need it. We won't use it. So I'm going to break that link here. And we no longer are linked to that particular spreadsheet. When I start examining spreadsheets, I often go to the Properties file to see the history of that spreadsheet and understand it a little bit better. So I'm coming up here to the File tab on the upper left-hand side. I'll look at this. I can see who originally put this together, when it was modified, who's involved in this. I also can check for issues here and inspect the document, look at different aspects of it to make that work for me. Sometimes when I look at a new spreadsheet, I will often go to the file and look at the information on the history of this file. Who wrote it? Who was the last one that worked on it? And other information that may be available through the inspecting the worksheet here. Often in the business world, you are handed a spreadsheet and you are asked to maintain it, that you now are to use this to make decisions for your business. You may take that spreadsheet and use it as is. Somebody else has provided it. But remember that you are now responsible. So when the spreadsheet gives erroneous information, you don't want to make those million-dollar mistakes because somebody else made that mistake in the spreadsheet. So you own the spreadsheet now. You need to verify what's on this spreadsheet. So let's look at this spreadsheet before you. I've given you a spreadsheet that I used to use in one of my classes, and it has a number of different things for student grades. You'll see a list of students here. You'll see a list of assignments. Notice this first one is closed. Usually I will open up everything so that I can see everything on the spreadsheet when I'm working at. This first part looks like it's quizzes and problems. We drop the first two, the lowest two problems, and work with that. The first area of the spreadsheet consists of the homework and quizzes. You can see the list of all the different homework and quizzes. The lowest one we drop, so that's his first column, and the second lowest is his second column. We also then have projects, cases, and you'll see there's 5 of those that we add up. Online exam, those are the in-class exams, and then a 2-part midterm and a 2-part final. This makes up their grades, and you can see how they're weighted and how they're put together here. This is the formula that gives us the grade information, and we assign a grade to it. I like to first zoom out and look at the overall spreadsheet to see what's involved in this. To do that, I hit the control button and I use my wheel in the middle of my mouse. You can also go down here and go the plus or minus on the spreadsheet, but this allows me to go in and out a lot faster, as you can see here. You'll notice when I've zoomed out to a certain length that some things have shown up here. Kind of interesting. This area of the homework and quizzes, I've named quizzes, and that named area now shows up when I'm zoomed out. This area was named projects, and I can see that name, and online exams, it's showing up as well. So you can see the overall spreadsheet. You see some statistics underneath and some grade chart information. We'll look at these closer later on. But I want to make sure there's nothing else on the sheet, so I'm going to zoom out even further, and you can see that there's nothing else there. Okay? And another thing you can do is you can hit the Control Home. It takes you to the upper left-hand corner, and Control End to the lower right-hand corner of any part of the spreadsheet that has been used in the past or that is involved in the recalculation area. So I can look through that and see that there's nothing in that area. The rest of it has never been used. While I am zoomed out, I also like to see where the formulas are in the spreadsheet. I'm going to zoom in just a little bit closer. Whoops, maybe not that close. And I want to see the formulas. Now there's several ways I can do this. I can see where they're at by clicking on Formulas and Show Formulas. There you can see these formulas laid out, and oh wow, every now and again among these formulas I'm seeing places where there's a value rather than a formula, where it's not consistent. Each one of these formulas should probably be consistent. Now right now I'm zoomed out far enough that I can't read the formulas, but I can see inconsistencies by just looking at it. Another way that I do this, rather than show formulas, I use Control and the tilde key. And that way I can flip out and in very quickly between the two and look at where the formulas are. Now I can see that there is an error here in this particular cell. It is 0.8 or 80% is what they're going to receive on that midterm, regardless of what they actually did in class. So I may want to change that. Let me zoom in a little bit closer here. And this 80%, I'm going to copy the actual formula down from above. Oh, it looks like they actually got 95%, but it was hard-coded for 8%, and so that now is no longer a problem. I've put the formula back in where it should be.